Hello, Merry Christmas. Welcome to Pop Culture Man Children. I'm Mike Bongiorno. Thanks for tuning in on this holiday episode. Today's a fun one. I sit down with some of my favorite people to talk about Christmas movies and Christmas specials and Gremlins, one of my favorite Christmas movies. I'm not going to argue with you over whether or not it is a Christmas movie. So today on the show, I talked to Emilio Sparks, the OG. I talked to Vin Forte from the Anytime with Vin Forte podcast. I talked to Nadia Cater from this show. And thanks for tuning in. Highway to the danger zone.
Dun-dun-dun.
Right into the danger zone. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This is PCMC. I'm here with the OG, the man who taught me everything I know
About podcasting.
about podcasting.
How you doing?
First there was Emilio, and then there was Mark Maron,
Really
and then there was Ricky Gervais, and then there was Jimmy Pardo.
And then
I don't care what the timeline says.
it was Pop Culture Man Children.
PCMC, it's Christmas.
Yes, it is.
It's snowing outside. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that snow come down.
I know.
The weather outside is
frightful.
I had a you moment yesterday because
Why?
I was hanging out with somebody, and White Christmas was on, and I was like, Bing Crosby's a scumbag.
Fuck, it is, right?
Because every time anyone brings up Bing Crosby, you talk about how he was a horrible person.
He was a horrible fucking
So it's all I
individual.
could think about.
Now, do you see the part where he actually talks about whipping and cattle mutilating Danny Kaye and the other fucking Haynes sister?
That verse I think they cut out of the radio edit.
But I'm telling you, you watch the movie, he actually threatens them with physical violence twice. in
White
that
Christmas
movie.
the movie?
Yeah.
No, I don't. White Christmas the movie is like against all odds. It's like the song that comes out of it's much more well known than the movie.
Well, no, at first it was Holiday Inn. Holiday
Right.
Inn originally had the composition of White Christmas. And
Who
then
is that?
years
Is that
later,
Irving Berlin?
Yeah, and Bing.
Bing.
Yeah. But in White Christmas, the movie, he threatens Danny Kaye and
Is
one
that
of
a
the Haynes
sequel?
sisters.
Is it a spinoff? Is it in the cinematic universe?
You know, Mike, it could be because it's set in a bed and breakfast ski resort in Vermont, just like the bed and breakfast in Vermont that Bing Crosby has in White Christmas.
No, in the first one. What's the first
Holiday
one?
Inn. Bing,
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. Bing Crosby has a bed and breakfast. He quits the Hollywood life.
Yeah.
Has the song. The movie company buys the rights to
Right.
the song, and he writes the original music and the composition for
He
it.
ended that trilogy with Hotel Motel Holiday Inn,
Yes, he did.
which was I mean it was a departure for him.
You know, it was. But he bounced back. He rallied. Did you also know that he
Tell me.
was the
What's the
owner?
thing
He was
about-
one of the co-owners of the Pittsburgh Pirates for a little while too.
Really?
Yeah.
Bing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? You know more of this than me. What did Bing? Didn't Bing like castrate somebody with a rock or something like that?
Yeah, he did a sacrifice. No, I don't know. I don't like him. I just think
He put something up somebody. There's some specific thing that you used to tell people on Christmas.
I used to say a lot of Bing Crosby
really-
slander on
it was
Christmas.
It was unnecessary, really.
Well, you know, I've mellowed in my old age, but I just think
Yeah.
he's an evil man.
But you gotta love that Bing sound.
It is a Bing sound.
He's
is.
He's very influential in the development of videotape.
Yes, and he was also voted in 1948 the most admired man alive, ahead of Jackie Robinson and Pope Pius.
Wow. Well, I love the way this Christmas show is starting. I've got a gift for you.
Do you know?
Yep. And it's in a nice, cute little satchel.
Wow. Wow. Do I open it up now?
Please.
Yeah, let me open it up now. This is pretty. Do you want the satchel back?
No, you can keep that satchel and re-gift it if you want.
You know that's what I'm going to do.
Open it, and then I'll tell you the gift I was going to get you. I had an idea for a bit gift. I'm sorry, I tied it kind of tight.
Oh, wow. Oh, and you have knots in it and everything.
I'm sorry. Well, while you're doing that, let me tell you what I was going to get you. I was going to get you one of those novelty giant candy bars. Like those huge Hershey bars that's like 10 pounds, but I couldn't find one.
I never would have ate it.
I know, but it would have a funny bit. It would have a funny visual bit for a podcast.
And I would have been disgusted and angry.
I figured you would give it to people.
I would have. I would have fucking binged you.
You'd made use out of it.
I would have binged you.
Put the Hershey bar up my ass.
Put the Hershey bar right up your ass and go, it's like OJ. Because he used to be the spokesman for Tropicana orange juice.
Is that why
Yes. Yep.
That's why Tasmanian Devil's dad talks like him?
Mm-hmm.
That's a reference all the kids in the 90s
Which
loved.
OJ?
Mm.
I love it. I love it, man.
Tell the folks at home.
It is a pop of Swamp Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it glows in the dark.
Yeah, that's a chase that glows in the dark, that one. That's a special one.
I love it, man. I honestly do. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And it's my first official pop.
Yeah.
I have a pop prototype, but
Yes.
that really don't count.
Yeah, and that's your thing. That's your favorite guy.
And it's in the box.
It's a beautiful box. If it were not beautiful, I'd send that shit right back.
I love it. I love it. Wow. And the detail on the
It's a good figure.
the red eyes,
It's nice.
the detail of the tree bark on the face.
Yeah, I like the red of the fucking veins or whatever, the fucking chlorophyll veins.
Wow, this is beautiful, man. Wow.
Enjoy.
Thank you. This is very
Enjoy
nice
in
of
good
you.
health.
I appreciate this. This is very nice. So
And you could take that little satchel and
Thank
you
you.
could
I'm gonna
give people
re-gift.
things in it.
So I donated money in your name to the Boys and Girls Club of America.
On top of
On top of giving you a gift, yes. Yes, I did.
how much money did you donate?
A decent amount.
Why couldn't you just give that to me? I could use that.
Because I figure why not donate it in your name so people think, wow, Michael Buongiorno is a real giving guy.
But well, wouldn't it be better if you gave it to me and then I made the choice whether or not I could give it?
I just felt we needed to fix your image a little bit, so let me donate for you in your
Fix
name.
my image.
Yeah.
Even on Christmas, you're going to have to high road me.
I'm sorry.
You have to high road me.
I'm sorry.
By the way, do you have any receipts? Do I have proof that you actually gave money to a charity in my name?
Yeah, I'll send them to
Is
you
there
later.
a tree in Israel now?
No, the Boys and Girls Club of America.
What do they do?
They help kids after school
Oh, you don't even know.
programs.
Well, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll fucking put that under my tree. The
I
thought.
Well, I got you something.
Oh, okay. Oh, I hope it's cocaine. Oh, man. What's this?
It's two things. It's two things.
That sound?
Yeah. Look at that sound.
Oh, there is two things.
Yeah, I got you two things.
Both of us giving money to Funko this
Yes, we
Christmas. This is from the vinyl line, which is similar to Pops, but they're a little bit cuter. And it is Gizmo and Stripe.
Is it right up your alley?
It's fucking right up our alley, and we're going to talk about this movie today.
Okay, now there was another one that I wanted to get you. That was it was a TARDIS. It was the Pop TARDIS, but it had like really pretty flowers on it. But I was like, what's more Buongiorno? Like, I think the vinyl version of the Gremlins, I think, would just be a little bit more, because I think you have several TARDISes already.
I have a TARDIS tattooed on my arm. I prefer this. This is great. Now, I love this. I love this. And I just watched this movie today in preparation to our...
I've watched it 3 times.
Fantastic. I've watched it 100 times in my life.
Open your price.
Let's see, there's something else here.
Yeah.
Speaking of cocaine, have you seen Artie Lang lately?
Oh, yes, I have.
His nose
It's falling off.
It's like it's horrifying. Actually,
Well, that's what happens when cocaine burns your nose, dude.
he literally has destroyed his nose.
Michael, I know a person that they can put their finger up their nose and it comes out the other side.
This is a Star Wars Mystery Mini plush.
Because I wanted to add something to the plushie chair, but I wanted to be nicely understated that didn't take over the plushie
I understand.
chair.
Well, this hangs. I might hang this to my ever-growing cluster of figures in my car.
Yes, I see that you have stuff on your, what is it, the mirror? The dashboard mirror? Yeah, you have a whole bunch of shit on there now.
Oh,
Who is it?
it's Daddy. It's Darth Vader.
Oh, I see. I was nervous because I didn't know what you would have gotten.
Yeah, because if I would have got a Gen Urso, I would have threw this in your goddamn face.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want you to get a Gen Urso.
Fantastic. Emilio. I like it. He could hang out with Stripe and Gizmo.
You know, you're the only person I've gotten gifts for.
Gizmo. Really?
Yeah.
Christmas is like yesterday.
Yeah.
What about your loving mother and father? They let you live here?
let me explain something to you.
Mm-hmm.
If they had PayPal, my parents, I would just PayPal them money for Christmas.
Why don't you get your parents a Venmo account?
I should get them a fucking Venmo.
There's no thought in that, though.
What are you talking about? Money is a good thought. It's like, hey, I'm thinking of you
No,
enough
it's thoughtless.
No, it's not.
It doesn't say anything about what you know about them. A gift is a chance to be like, hey, I know you. Like, I gave you Swamp Thing because I know that you like Swamp Thing.
And I do, and I love Swamp Thing.
See, that's the thought. I could have gave you the amount of money that cost, and that wouldn't be the same.
No, but you also would know, hey, you know what? Here, whatever that cost to pop is like, all right, well, get yourself some gas money.
I mean, look, if somebody's hurting, I'm all for giving them money.
Yeah. Well, they ain't hurting, but
yeah.
I just figure, listen, my old man doesn't need new clothes. He's trying to lose weight, so I'm not going to get him fat people clothes.
Yeah.
So I'm not
get him skinny people clothes.
I'm going to get him.
Inspire
I'm going to get him skinny jeans.
Yeah, be like, this is your New Year's resolution.
You know, because he says it all the time. He's like, oh, I'm overweight, blah blah blah. I'm like, Pop, you're fine.
You got to teach him how to fucking eat like you do, like RoboCop.
I know.
Just a mush of nutrients that you just sort of suck
down
through a straw twice a day.
That's it. And my mother is not that she's difficult to buy for, but she's another person. Like, you know, like, what do you get them?
What do you get? I mean, look, they've got you for a son living in their house.
Yeah.
What do you get the people that have everything?
Exactly.
They're living the dream.
They are living the dream.
Their 50-year-old son lives in a bedroom.
And then my brother's another difficult person to shop for.
Well, he's the kind of guy who takes care of himself.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my problem, because I'm always buying myself shit.
You have to.
And they say don't do that around Christmas.
But see, that's why I was apprehensive of getting you the pop, because I didn't know if you had that already.
I did not.
It's like a gamble with you in that treasure trove of fucking Mike's basement of cool. You have everything. A lot of vinyl. A lot of plastic.
I have a Dorbs version of Gizmo and Stripe, but not a vinyl version.
Okay. I was nervous.
No, I love it.
All right, good.
I love it. I almost don't even want to
open it.
No, I almost do want to open it. Like normally with a Funko thing, I would leave it in his box, but they look so cool. I kind of want to open them up.
So wait, you actually open your Funkos?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I never do. I'm just saying this I kind of want to.
I'm not going to open this.
No, don't open that. That's a chase. You leave that where it is.
You know I don't open these things anyway.
Look at the stickers.
What's the stickers?
The stickers on the front shows you it's a chase.
PX Previews exclusive.
Yeah, the normal Swamp Thing doesn't glow in the dark.
Glows in the dark.
You gotta get yourself like a black light. Go down to Hot Topic and get yourself a black light, or Spencer's Gifts.
I love it.
And while you're there, get some sticky stars to put on the fucking ceiling.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Happy Christmas to you too.
Okay, let's put on a little paper crowns like Harry Potter and have a nice little Christmas.
Let's do it.
We could play with the crackers, pull the crackers. Ooh, what a wonderful tradition. Well, I'll give you an orange.
See,
they give oranges. That's a thing.
That's thoughtful. Here, so you don't get scurvy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, you excited about the Doctor Who New Year's Day special?
Of course I am.
How do you feel about them going from Christmas to New Year's?
It's a good change. I think the Christmas special ran its course.
I think that the Christmas specials have a tendency to be a little too saccharine.
Yes.
And, especially during the Moffat years, a lot of the Christmas specials were like, and love and whatever. You know what I mean?
That's what he was into.
Yeah.
He was a hopeless romantic who wore his heart on the pages of the things he wrote.
Yeah. The worst Christmas special, maybe the worst Doctor Who episode, is the Doctor, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, I have to agree.
First of all, nothing happens in that whole episode. But it's just the Doctor hanging out with kids in the woods. There's tree people. It's horrible. A little creepy. It's terrible.
I didn't even like the episode with the snowmen either.
No,
Later on with Matt Smith.
That's not a great one either. The most interesting thing about that is that's him bouncing back from having lost Amy.
Yeah.
And he meets one version of Clara.
Yeah. That's cool, but...
So you watched Gremlins 3 times.
Well, I had to, because the first time... Let me preface this by saying I never watched the movie beforehand.
So this was your first 3 times?
This is my first 3 times. And so I watched it once at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Perfect.
And I fell asleep halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched it again when I woke up out of a dead sleep because for some reason it reran at like 10 a.m. on AMC.
Sure. Which
is airing the most shittiest Christmas TV shows and movies ever.
Really? I stupidly bought it on Amazon.
It was smart, though.
I didn't realize it was on television.
On television all the time. I guarantee you if I put my TV on, it'll probably be on. And then I watched it fully in its entirety maybe like 2 days ago.
So I have a lot of... This movie came out in 1984. I was 1. Yeah. So I have a lot of nostalgic feelings for it that probably blind some of my thinking of it. As an adult man, how did it strike you?
Very juvenile.
Sure.
But not as like, wow, this thing is on the level of E.T., you know what I mean? Like,
no, it's not on the level
It's kind
of
of like if you were to mix the Muppets with like Animal House.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good...
You get Gremlins.
That's pretty good, yeah. So was it what
and I
you
didn't
thought
find
it
the
was going to
Gremlins
be?
Scary at all. I didn't find them scary. I thought they were just rebel rousers. They were just these wild fucking drunks that just like to eat and just cause trouble and fuck shit up.
Well, the script was written by Chris Columbus, who went on to write Home Alone and direct the first 2 Harry Potters. And
what a career that is.
And Chris Columbus, his script was a horror.
Yeah.
And Joe Dante, who had done like a lot of horror comedy, like weird stuff like The Burbs and The Howling, he got involved and he wanted it to be very scary. But then Spielberg got involved as an EP. It's executive produced by Spielberg, Frank Marshall, who produced Indiana Jones, and Kathleen Kennedy, who runs Star Wars now. And Spielberg was like, I want it to be funnier. Spielberg kept pushing for more cuteness. Spielberg expanded Gizmo's character to be more adorable. So,
because Gizmo originally was supposed to turn into Stripe.
It's just Gizmo wasn't supposed to be like the OG Pikachu, like that he is now.
He wasn't even that cute.
All right, now you're talking crazy talk. He's adorable.
His face looks a little wrinkly.
Yeah, but he's adorable. He hangs out and watches racing movies, and he looks at 3D comics.
Yeah, but you just got to be careful with the thing. You can't fucking feed it after midnight. You can't get it wet.
Right. So
how does it clean itself?
I don't know.
Is it like a cat? Does he lick itself?
Well, the dog licks it, and I was like, why doesn't that cause you know what I mean? Cause it to fucking
go
pop
berserk.
Out some shit. There's some problems. Look, the movie's got its issues.
Oh my god, yeah, it does. But then it also spawned a whole bunch of other nonsense from other B films like Munchies and Munchies Revenge.
I've never seen that.
I've seen that. First, I never forget it. The first day I got cable, and they installed it, I put on HBO, and I watched Munchies, and then they aired Munchies Revenge.
I've never even heard.
They
of
are
Munchies.
They are just shitty. Like originally, the Munchies is supposed to be like the Gremlins, and then Munchies Revenge, and then Munchies Strike Backs is like this weird like the Great Kazoo type character, but he looks like Gizmo, but he walks and he talks, and he's like this fucking alien that like helps little kids that get bullied.
Wow. That sounds god awful.
It is, but we actually should watch Munchies Revenge and Munchies Strikes Back.
I'd enjoy the whole trilogy.
I think
I'd
you
like
would, but
to enjoy the whole
but
trilogy.
the original does not coincide with the other two films.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to watch Gremlins 2 now. Speaking of sequels. Everything that's ridiculous about Gremlins, you turn it up to 11.
Okay.
It's bonkers.
Like, I love the movie theater scene.
I do too. I love all the gags.
Yeah.
You know, when they're in the bar and Phoebe Cates for some reason is serving them alcohol, like she's running around like she's their patrons, and there's the one who's on. First of all, amazing puppet work.
Oh yeah, it is
Amazing
very
puppet.
good.
All the gags are amazing. It's a combo of puppets and some stop motion animation.
That is stop motion.
Yeah.
I thought they were
that
little
great
robots.
shot where you see like Main Street and you see like dozens of gremlins walking up Main Street and
Yeah.
you see their whole bodies. That's stop motion.
Okay. Wow.
But in the bar where you've got one gremlin hanging on to a ceiling fan swinging around,
That's good.
you've got gremlins dressed up. You got one gremlin sitting there playing the blues. You got one with a hand puppet. You got one gremlin with glasses and a trench coat, and he flashes her.
Yeah.
Gremlins with guns. Joe Dante's a big fan of Looney Tunes. In fact, Chuck Jones has a cameo in it as Mr. Jones, and he uses a lot of Looney Tune sound effects, like Spike gets hit in the head and you hear Tweety Birds and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I love all of that nonsense.
It was just the plot was very
Thin?
Yeah. But I did like once it got going, it got going.
Yeah.
You know, before, because you made mention to Phoebe Cates.
Ugh.
What happened?
What do you mean?
Like, what happened?
What happened to her career?
Yeah. Like, after
don't
Drop Dead
know.
Fred, you're gone? Like,
Yeah,
I
I don't know
understand.
why
Listen,
she-
you marry
Kevin
fucking
Kline.
Kevin Kline, and he's got the better career, and he's the Academy Award-winning actor, but
Yeah, I don't
Phoebe
know.
Cates.
It seems like she bowed out.
Right?
I don't know why.
Right?
I can't.
She was so pretty.
You know that I'm an SJ dub and I don't like to
You could say she
objectify
was
women.
very pretty, though.
But wait, I'm prefacing it. I cannot understate how much of a crush I had on Phoebe Cates.
She's adorable.
She is the ultimate girl next door, working at the bank, working for free at the bar. Her dad died climbing down the chimney.
That's a great bit.
And that's how I learned there's no Santa
Santa
Claus.
That is a great bit.
That's amazing.
That is a great bit.
She's great.
And it's like the worst time to tell the story, too,
Oh, it
when she
makes no
tells
sense.
it. It makes no sense. They're like in the bank, and it's like, wait, so you're running for your lives, and you all of a sudden, this is the time that you need to tell the guy that you got a crush on.
Yeah.
That this is how your father died.
Well, they set it up by him being like, he asked her something about Christmas. She's like, I don't celebrate Christmas. And he's like, why? And she's like, you tell people you don't like President's Day, no one bats an eye. You tell them you like Christmas, they look at you like a leper.
She's true. True.
All right. Look, no offense to Zach Galligan,
Oh,
but he might be the least charismatic leading man in cinema history.
all time. He was not.
He's not necessarily a bad actor. He's just he
didn't.
he doesn't have whatever it is.
Well, the little puppet stole the show.
Yeah, but but without Gizmo, he couldn't carry the thing. First of all,
Well, he was a loser.
He's like 30, but also 12.
That is, yeah. I was gonna ask you, how old is he?
He's supposed to be like 24 or something, but he's so gee golly gosh and like talks like a 12-year-old and hangs out with Corey Feldman, who is a 12-year-old.
See, that threw me off because here's what I thought. I thought he was maybe 15, 16.
No, he's working at a bank. He's got to be 18.
But then that's when I seen the shot. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm confused because Corey Feldman's like 9.
He's out of high school, but he still does keep a relationship with his high school science teacher, who he brings the gremlin to.
And unfortunately, the gremlin kills.
Yeah. People talk about the odd relationship between Doc Brown and Marty in Back to the Future, but I say the relationship between Billy and Corey Feldman is much odder.
You think so?
Well, there's that scene where Corey Feldman brings in the Christmas tree because his dad is the Christmas tree salesman.
Yeah.
And Billy's like, oh, come upstairs. I want to show you something. And then they're up in his like weird attic room, and Corey Feldman sits on his bed.
Yeah.
And starts looking at comics. I don't want a 12-year-old in my room sitting on my bed. And then Billy takes off his shirt.
Yeah.
because he got like one of his dad's inventions got like soap all over him or something, and it's like, what is happening in this scene?
It's the 80s.
Billy's mom should be like, Billy, listen, you can't have these kids in your room. You can't be bringing kids in. And by the way, the excuse I've got a cute pet to show you and look at my comics
doesn't work.
That doesn't make it any better.
But again, if you look at the mother, she's kind of absent-minded.
Well, she does. She has the best kill in the movie.
She does have the best kill in the movie.
The gremlin in the microwave is one of the best kills in cinema history.
But if you look at the mother, she's kind of like, I think she's just numb to the whole thing.
Well, her husband's a fucking deadbeat loser.
Exactly. Like, he's trying to, we can market the Gremlins.
Yeah.
Fuck
what a
you,
scumbag.
bro.
What a scumbag.
Fuck you.
He did invent the Keurig, though.
He did. I will say that.
There's a scene, all his inventions don't work, but there's a scene where you see a Peltzer single cup coffee maker, and it's like some black tars coming out of it. It isn't working, but I think that was the original Keurig. He was a
snake oil salesman. The only thing charming about him was his voice.
I don't think when I think of a snake oil salesman, I think of a man who is conning you. Or I think poor Randall Peltzer, I think he believed in his products. He was just an idiot and a loser and was destroying his family.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. But then, I also didn't like that he would try to sell certain things too, like the ashtray.
The smokeless ashtray.
Yeah. But meanwhile, it like doesn't work.
Yeah.
And the poor son of a bitch he probably sold it to.
Yeah, the gas station guy.
I just don't like it. I don't like him as a father. I think he was a bad dad.
He wasn't a great man.
No, he was not.
What do you think about Miss Deagle? Played by Flo from Alice.
Yes. I mean, like listen, I think they really had a dope like cast of characters. Like, you know what I mean? Like their ensemble cast was really good. Like, like Judd Reinhold was in it.
Yeah, as your typical 80s yuppie scumbag. The best line is when he's trying to get Phoebe Cates to come over his house. He's like, "Hey, babe, I'm talking cable here." Cable. Oh, the 80s.
I know. I wish we can go back to that back in the day.
Imagine being like, that's your selling point. I got cable.
Do you know that the father, Holt Axton, I guess is his real name?
Yeah.
Did you know he wrote Joy to the World by Three Dog Night?
No.
Yeah. Joy to the world, joy to the people in the deep blue sea.
Wow.
Joy to you and me.
Good for him.
Joy.
Good for him.
That was a big record, dude.
Yeah.
It was a big fucking record.
He's not still alive, is he? He can't be.
No, he passed away in 99.
Whoa, he didn't even see 9/11.
No, he did not. No, but yeah, he wrote Joy to the World.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So he had money then.
Yeah, he wrote a couple of big records, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah, he wrote for Steppenwolf. He wrote for Ringo. He wrote for Ringo Starr. He wrote for Three Dog Night, and I think for Chris Christopherson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't think of any other movie he's in.
At first, I thought he was the voice of Baloo, but then I had to Google it, and I was like, no, he's not.
He's not.
He wasn't.
He does resemble Baloo.
Well, I thought he would have sang Bare Necessities, but that wasn't him.
By the way, you know who voiced Gizmo?
Was it Frank Weller who does every single voice?
Frank Welker was involved, but it's mostly Howie Mandel.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Howie?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
If you listen, Gizmo says stuff. Like they all kind of speak, but not a lot. Like Gizmo says, at the end he goes, "Bye, Billy," and he says, "Bright light, bright light." And then my favorite is Stripe will say, "Gizmo caca," as he throws him in the fucking.
Now, did
garbage.
Howie Mandel do that voice as well?
I don't believe so. I bet that's Welker.
Has to be Welker. Has to be Welker.
I always was interested in what would happen. First of all, midnight. What about time zones? Can we talk about what does that even mean, midnight?
I think it means midnight across the board. So if it's midnight in New York, you can't eat shit. If it's midnight in California, you can't eat.
But so wait, so if I take Gizmo to California from New York, his body changes with it?
Yeah, I guess because you get used to the time change.
I don't know.
You ever been out to the West Coast?
No.
All right, well, your body changes.
I like how you asked that, as if that's going to be the prerequisite for whatever logic you're about to
But
throw
that's
at
what
me.
I'm saying. Your body changes, so you get used to certain things, like jet lag, or when you're in another country.
All right.
And the time
so let's
zone
say I
is
have a
different.
private jet, and it's 11:59. I just fed Gizmo.
Yeah.
I fucking go as fast as I can to California.
No. You defeat the purpose because you have to go over the time change happens when you like cross over like that line, like, you know what I mean,
Okay.
like right before like Dallas and
Yeah.
So you have to like be there at midnight. Like if you're gonna feed him at 11:59 and then jump on the plane, it defeats the purpose.
Right.
Because you're still in the time zone.
Yeah.
Once the time zone switches over, like 3 hours into the flight, boom, then you gain 3 hours.
So Gizmo basically does intermittent fasting.
Yeah, he does intermittent fasting.
He's a big Joe Rogan fan.
He does
Joe
his
Rogan.
DMT oil. He hunts.
It was Christmas Eve. I was 9 years old. Me and Mom were decorating the tree, waiting for Dad to come home from work. A couple hours went by. Dad wasn't home. Mom called the office. No answer. Christmas Day came and went, and still nothing. So the police began a search. 4 or 5 days went by. Neither one of us could eat or sleep. Everything was falling apart. It was snowing outside. The house was freezing, so I went to try to light up the fire. And that's when I noticed the smell. The firemen came and broke through the chimney top. And me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird. And instead, they pulled out my father. He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit. He'd been climbing down the chimney on Christmas Eve, his arms loaded with presents. He was going to surprise us. He slipped and broke his neck. Died instantly. And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
Nadia Cater, welcome to the Christmas episode.
Thank you, Mike.
So you and me went to see Gremlins at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, BAM, a couple of years ago.
That was so much fun.
That was your first time, right?
Yeah.
How'd it go? How'd you feel about Gremlins?
You know, I went there just for the honestly, just because you asked me. I'm like, you know what? I love going to see movies, and I'm sure I'm not going to enjoy this at all.
Okay.
Like, because it's like an 80s kids movie, right? So I was like,
Right.
I'm sure I'm just going to say, you know, I'll just see what Mike has to say about it, and I won't like it, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was so much fun.
It's interesting you say that. Okay, what were you expecting, and then what did you get?
So my general rule of thumb is to have no expectations when I go see movies.
But you had heard Gremlins, and like you knew it
it's
was
famous.
from the 80s. Yeah, right.
I just knew that it was like a movie with some cutesy monster things, and then they turn evil, and then a little kid stops them. So I'm like, okay, great. I've seen this movie 9,000 times. But it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, and the animatronics is really good.
Great puppetry.
The puppetry is excellent.
Yeah.
It really seems like they're like living.
Yeah, it's a kind of movie where if they remade it now, they would not use puppets and it would not be good.
That's a bad idea.
The life that comes out of them being puppets you need that, I think.
Yeah, because whenever the movie would come out, hypothetically, the CGI will already be outdated.
Right, exactly.
So, like, if you ever watch, like, a 2000 movie, like a CGI movie from the year 2000, it looks awful.
Yeah.
But animatronics, they always look good. Puppetry always looks good.
Right.
Because it's
There's
tangible.
a performance there.
Yes. There's a performance that you're getting, and it's a skill.
Because every single performer is playing their gremlin differently, in a way. You know what I mean? Like, if they redid it now, there would be some scene where there'd be 1,000 gremlins, like, crawling up a building.
And they all look the same.
Right. They're all going to look the same, and it's, yeah.
But with puppetry, you need the puppeteer to have this unique personality and movement.
Right.
That's why Muppets are always different. That's why when you watch Sesame Street, they all move differently.
Right.
You have the person in the suit, Big Bird, and you have Elmo, who's like on someone's hand, and you have Kermit, who's like a marionette.
Yeah.
You know, they all move differently.
Yeah.
All the Gremlins move differently.
Right. One of the best sequences is when the lead character goes into the bar. There's just a bunch of gremlins hanging out there, and there's like so many gags. Like, one gremlin shoots another one with a pistol. There's a gremlin with a fedora and a trench coat, and he like opens it to flash you. There's a gremlin hanging on the ceiling fan, swinging around. There's just all these different gags, basically, these visual gags. It's very Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And the director, Joe Dante, he later on directed Looney Tunes Back in Action with Brendan Fraser. So, like, Looney Tunes is clearly... There's even, like, Looney Tunes, like, sounds in it. So, like, Looney Tunes was clearly something he was thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, no one watched Looney Tunes Back in Action.
I did.
Oh, okay. You and some other guy.
I think I can't remember it now, but I think my review at the time was it's better than Space Jam.
Whoa. That's a claim.
I never liked Space Jam.
The millennials love Space Jam.
But do they, or is it ironic?
I think it's nostalgia.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I wasn't young enough.
It might have been.
I was old enough to know when a movie's bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it at the time. And I remember wanting to like it because it had Bugs Bunny and Bill Murray. And I mean, I didn't give a shit about Michael Jordan, but whatever. I was on board. Newman from Seinfeld was in it.
Yeah. But it like, I don't know. Looney Tunes kind of hasn't been doing that well. But I feel like people would be more on board for a Gremlins remake than they would be for a Looney Tunes movie.
I think, well, since we're talking about them, I think Looney Tunes worked best in shorts.
Yeah, but we don't make shorts anymore. Unless it's a Pixar movie.
Yeah, there was a few times in the 90s, like, I think there was a Looney Tunes short before Gremlins 2. And there was a Looney Tunes short before Back to the Future Part 3. So Warner Brothers did that a few times.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but it wasn't a standard part of the cinema experience. I don't know if you've seen this, but Disney's been doing Mickey shorts, but they're not the original style of Mickey, but they look like a retro style.
Oh, no.
You know that sort of weird postmodern, like retro, but not actually retro?
Yeah.
There's some of them are really interesting. They're worth looking up just for the animation of them.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out later.
Do you have any movies that you watch on Christmas?
Well, what's on, but we never sit and watch the whole thing because we're running around all day, is A Christmas Story. Because they play it for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you just put it on. You're like, oh, this is the Chinese restaurant scene. Oh, this is the scene with the lamp. And at various points of your day, you just turn to this movie.
And you can watch it in these little segments because it's sort of a segmented kind of episodic narrative anyway.
Yeah, it's not a movie where you need to know what the plot is really. It's just these little moments in this guy's life.
And everybody's seen it. Like, I'll refer to it when I teach the history of radio in class. I'll be like, Little Orphan Annie, like he listens to, and they'll be like, I get it.
Which is like, should people even know that? Do people know Little Orphan Annie was a radio show?
If they know it from that movie only.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that whenever I refer to it, most students know it. It's funny because that movie, I think, failed at the box office but became a VHS classic. And now it's sort of is like this classic. I don't know if 24 Hours is necessary.
No.
Maybe once or twice.
I remember TBS had 2 modes. Like years ago, they used to play it every day for the week of Christmas.
Yeah.
And I actually liked that better than the 24 hours thing because I could just tune in. Though now it's become my tradition.
Leave it in the background.
Leave it on in the background. But if it was on once a day, I would at least sit down and watch the whole thing in one sitting.
How many times have you seen it?
I have no idea. I can't even count for you. It's just been so many years of having it on in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, the other Christmas movie would be like National Lampoon's Christmas, which
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation, right? But
maybe one of the best sequels ever when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's way better than the first two.
Absolutely.
Way better. Well, the second one's kind of terrible. But it's great.
What's your Christmas movie?
My favorite that I try to watch every year is the Muppets Christmas Carol. I think Michael Caine is great as Scrooge.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Scrooge. And I love the songs. I love the song that Sweet'em sings. It's in the singing of the street corner choir. It's going home and getting warm by the fire. I love it. I also think it's hands down the best Muppet movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's an outstanding movie.
I mean, Muppets are great.
We love the Muppets. Good puppetry in that movie as well. It's narrated by Rizzo and Gonzo.
Right.
Can't go wrong with that. I love Rizzo.
Oh, man.
Did I ever show you I have a figure from Disney World that's Rizzo as Yoda?
No.
It's Rizzo dressed as Yoda.
That's adorable.
It's a great figure. It's one of my favorites. My friend Jen gave it to me for Christmas.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, was this made just for me?
Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow.
Hello, Vin.
Hey.
Vin,
What?
welcome to the Christmas show.
Oh my God, there's Christmas lights everywhere and toys. It's a wonderful. Y'all ready for this?
My favorite Christmas song. Y'all ready for this?
My favorite Christmas movie, Space Jam.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a little kid, we'd all go to my grandma's house, and Grandma would take out the old...
VHS of Space Jam.
No, she'd take out the old CD boombox and play jock jams.
Oh my God!
And we'd all dance around the tree. Oh God, those memories.
Guys, remember Jock Jams? Now it's just like a Jock Jams playlist on Spotify.
I know.
You actually have to buy Jock Jams.
Remember? Now that's what I call contemporary hits.
They still make those.
Do they really?
I think maybe I read something that they're phasing them out very soon, but they've been made up till very, very
in
recently.
compact disc form.
Is there any other form?
Jesus Christ! I have a present for you. I have a couple presents for
Holy
you.
smokes!
Here we go.
What is going on here? It is all whoa! Holy shit! The Art of Mondo.
That's right, my
Mondo.
friend. And a little.
I want to believe book dealy.
Yeah,
date planner.
Yeah, it's a little date planner from the X-Files.
Oh, thank you. Look, I'm especially good. This is good. The Art of Mondo is man.
Just flip through that. It's a beautiful book.
Look at that. The Planet of the Apes and
Oh, you're gonna love it. It's a gorgeous book.
yeah. Let me flip through this baby.
Look at that. I love
this
it.
is beautiful.
Yeah. There's a cool Gremlins thing in there too. I like their
Jaws one is so good.
Yeah, it's so good, the Mondo stuff. Now, full disclosure, I didn't buy that, but I did pay for it because it came in one of those mystery subscription boxes.
Oh.
And
This Toy Story one is very ominous.
let me see it.
It's like Woody looking up like something's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's a weird
Bullshit's
one.
going down.
That's a weird one. So I already have that book. So I was like, oh, I don't need two versions of it. I bet Vin would enjoy this a lot.
I would. This is going right on the shelf.
Yeah, you enjoy that in good health.
I will. Bring it over to the old family's house on Christmas.
Look, I see you just opened the page to the original trilogy.
Oh, the Bad Lieutenant. Man, they got everything in here.
Yeah, man.
The dead one.
It's real cool stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. Look at this.
You're welcome.
Godfather, Halloween. This poster is better than the entire new Halloween movie.
Yeah, it's like if you can.
This Tron one is amazing.
Yeah. I love Mondo because it's like, it's not a poster for the movie, it's a poster for the movie's cultural cachet.
Yeah.
It's like some of these posters are better than anything that's in the movie.
Yeah, like there's no... Like, it's kind of insane. Like, it's for the movie fans, not, like, the people who made the movies.
Yeah, exactly. So, since it's Christmas, my favorite Christmas movie is Gremlins.
And I have very recently watched Gremlins, and yeah, it's a Christmas movie. Everyone stop arguing. I don't know what... This isn't like Die Hard, which, by the way, not to go on a tangent, but like, this is the year that whole Die Hard the Christmas movie has completely jumped the shark.
I feel like that already happened last year. I'm
sure it probably already did, but this year, like, isn't there a commercial out that like plays up, or like someone recut the Die Hard trailer?
I don't know. I know that the teaser trailer for the new season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that's going to be on NBC now is like a remake of Die Hard.
Okay.
Because the lead character Jake Peralta loves Die Hard.
Okay. For a second, I thought you were going to say the Goldbergs.
No, but that's not beyond the Goldbergs. No. Oh no, they did do a Die Hard episode. They just did one. Oh, I swear to God, they did. He remakes it with his uncle in his treehouse.
Well, there you go, the Goldbergs.
I think they're ending soon. The Goldbergs.
Not a moment too soon.
Oh come on, I like the Goldbergs.
I love Jeff Garlin.
Guilty pleasure. I love it. It's so formulaic. It's like the family gets into some sort of shenanigans,
and then the original Freddy Krueger shows up.
Oh God, that's such a.
And then Weird Al shows up in his '80s outfit.
Yeah. So. What did you've seen Gremlins before recently though, right?
Yeah.
So how did you watch it this last time?
On a VHS.
Good.
It was
correct. How'd you feel about it?
I loved it. Like the pacing is really good. That's what struck me this time that like I never really realized before. It's just like how well it's paced. Like there's no...
It's a short little movie.
Yeah, like there's no real like time to...
There's no fat on that.
Linger around. Yeah, like he brings the gremlin... Like the dad brings the gremlin home, and then you set up what the gremlin is, what it does. You get a couple scenes like in the school where the teacher like has control, like steals one of the gremlins.
Yeah.
And then you're right back to the house.
You mean the only African American in the whole movie dies?
Yes.
Very quickly?
Yes. And then you're back to the house. Then pretty much like after that point, the gremlins get fed after midnight, and then shit starts going down real quick.
Right. And then there's a bunch in the movie theater, and they blow up the movie theater, and they're like, okay, we did it. But then Stripe goes into the local YMCA and jumps in the pool.
Yeah.
Which is such a simple but beautiful practical effect of just like put lights in the pool and some smoke machines.
Oh, this movie is like full of practical. I don't know why I'm talking about it. Like, this is the first time I've seen it. Like this movie had so many great practical effects. Like the bar scene.
Oh,
where all the
yeah.
gremlins are hanging out at the bar.
What's your favorite gag there?
Oh my God, there's so... You know what? It's not even one gag so much as that I really took in how much like old Looney Tunes cartoons have clearly influenced Joe Dante.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like that whole sequence in the bar was just like full of homages to Looney Tunes.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Tom and Jerry and all that.
Yeah. Do you know there are some people that read the movie as a sort of like an invocation of white fear of people of color coming into the neighborhood and wrecking things and ruining things and being troublemakers?
Mogwai in my neighborhood?
I never read it that way, but I understand.
It's an interesting I totally get it.
I get once somebody says it, it's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Their town is, well, basically...
It's a lily white town. It's literally the set from Back to the Future.
I was going to say, it's literally the town from It's a Wonderful Life.
That too.
It, like, looks exactly the same, and
It's
it basically
Bedford Falls.
is. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just- it's insane.
Yeah.
And again, only black person in the movie dies.
Right. And the Gremlins do like listen to like jazz and smoke cigarettes and like they're all these stereotypical things they think of as for people of color doing.
Yeah.
And Billy's so white. I was talking to Emilio about this. Maybe the least charismatic leading man in motion picture history.
Yeah, but it works. I mean, he's not gonna star in like Commando, but he can star in Gremlins and be just fine.
And Gremlins too.
Oh, the new batch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gremlins 2, one of the most brilliant sequels ever.
Really? You think so?
I'm not brilliant, but like it's probably the first example of a major like sequel that went meta.
Yes.
Because like very few movies, like the only other movie I can think of off the top of my head that really did something like that is New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Which kind of like didn't work at the time. Like neither film kind of worked at the time, but like looking back, it was just like something new and refreshing. Like we're gonna comment on the success of the first Gremlins.
Yeah.
So like when Key and Peele do that sketch about like,
that's
can you believe like what Gremlins were approved to be in Gremlins 2? It's like, yeah, that was kind of the point though.
It's in the movie. How about a gremlin that's just like a lady and wears makeup in the movie?
It's like, yeah, but that was kind of Joe Dante's thing, was like, let me see how many ridiculous gremlins they'll let me put in this movie.
The best is
and we'll put
Tony
Hulk Hogan in it, and like
my favorite is Tony Randall is the intellectual one.
Yeah.
He's talking about Susan Sontag and
Tony Randall's great. Rest in peace, Tony Randall.
I know. Then there's the one that turns into a gargoyle that has like the bat wings.
Yeah.
It's like a fanfic come to life, that movie.
Oh, absolutely. It's everything I ever wanted in a Gremlins movie.
You get Gizmo dancing, which you didn't
Who
get in the
doesn't like
first
that?
one. You get at the end when Gizmo decides he's got to take shit into his own hands. There's a fucking Rambo reference.
Yeah.
He puts on the bandana and uses paper clips to make a bow and arrow. So other than Gremlins, are there any Christmas movies or Christmas specials or Christmas albums or anything that every year you're like, you know what, to get myself in the mood, I'm going to revisit this thing?
For years, I used to watch on VHS. I had a bunch of like Simpsons Christmas episodes recorded off TV, and like those I used to watch a lot. I used to be very big into like the Rankin Bass stuff.
Oh yeah,
and then like eventually, the Rankin Bass stuff like they would start because you get the ones that you get every year, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
great,
Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but then there were like a couple that were like way on the fringe. And, like, those are kind of my favorite because they're just so weird.
Like what ones?
Like Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
I've never heard of that.
I believe that's the one with the Heat Miser and the Cold Miser or whatever, or the Freeze Miser.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's one that I think IO9, like, someone just did an article about it this week where it's basically the Rankin Bass version of Avengers Infinity War. Where, like, all the Rankin Bass characters, like, meet up.
That dentist guy? The dentist elf?
Like, all of them meet up for, like, not a Christmas movie. Like, it's a summer movie.
But, wait.
Where it's, like, Santa's summer vacation. I'm looking this up right now. Like, if we have to cut out a long pause, like...
No, please.
So be it. I think, like, this is fucking worth it. Let me look up Rankin Bass and see.
Oh, no, are those two gentlemen Rank and Bass? Or is Rankin a person?
Rankin and Bass.
Rankin and Bass.
Yeah. Rankin Bass Productions. News. It should be under news. Here it is. Rankin Bass, it's IO9. If you go there and look up Rankin Bass, it says Rankin Bass has its own Avengers, and it's a must-watch catastrophe. Story of Snowman. Gather around, children. I've come to tell you a story of Santa Claus, a red-nosed reindeer, a talking snowman, and an evil wizard with ice dragons and flying snakes engaged in a centuries-long war against the Northern Lights.
What?
It's called Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
What the fuck?
It's a movie I have to convince people actually exists. The culmination of 15 years and 6 holiday movies. Yeah, this came out like 15 years after.
Okay.
So it came out in like 1981 or like 1979.
Oh, wow.
Christmas in July is the quintessential seasonal crossover, the Avengers of Christmas classics. It stars Billy Richards as Rudolph, Jackie Vernon as Frosty, Mickey Rooney reprising his role as Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And they all come along for a summer vacation only to get caught up in a wizard's quest to get rid of Santa once and for all.
Uh-oh. But why decide to make it in the summer?
The special was released on ABC on November 25th, 1979, but actually it debuted prior to that. Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July was originally supposed to be a theatrical release following 1967's relatively successful Mad Monster Party.
What the fuck is Mad
I don't
Monster
even know what the fuck
Party?
that is. Boasting a nearly 100-minute runtime, it was released in theaters overseas in the summer of 79. Unfortunately, it did so poorly that it was quickly shelved and later made its way to television. This is a quote
Hawkeye's
from...
also not in that one.
Yeah, no, Hawkeye's not in this. Arthur Rankin Jr. is a quote from him. It was not a resounding success when it opened in summer. I think it ran for 2 or 3 weeks, and it was not the hit we thought it would be.
So it was theatrically released?
Yeah.
In the summer. And then they put it on TV in November, which would make sense.
Yeah, over the course of 11 insufferable minutes, we're given a huge backstory, explaining why Rudolph's glowing nose is currently going out, which is due to an ancient feud that's taken place over thousands of years.
What? It sounds like... it sounds like the Highlander 2 of Rankin and Bass movies.
It gets weirder. Long ago, there was an evil wizard named Thunderbolt who ruled over the wintry lands. One day,
What's with all this mythology?
One day, the Aurora Borealis took
Aurora Borealis
at this time of year,
at this time of day, solely
localized
in your.
entirely in your kitchen.
Can I see it?
No.
Well, you sure know how to.
Well, Seymour, you steam a good ham. So the Aurora Borealis took a human form so she could fight back, putting Thunderbolt into a deep sleep and clearing the way for Kris Kringle to become Santa Claus. How? This seems like a huge space of time there that we're not getting.
Boy, they're adding so much mythology.
After Thunderbolt wakes up, he's pissed off that Santa is basically king in the North Pole and devises a plan to stop him. He'll use his ice dragon's fog breath to stop Santa from delivering presents. A human version of the Northern Lights gave Rudolph his shiny glowing nose because he was the chosen one.
What?
And would one day help Santa defeat Thunderbolt and his ice dragons.
So it's like a fucking chosen one narrative?
But
Rudolph, you are the chosen one.
But Rudolph's magic is running low, and if he uses his nose for evil even once, his magic will go away forever.
Rudolph, you have to come back and help fight. You think I'm going to go in front of the First Order with a shiny laser nose and...
Rudolph and Frosty spend most of their time in the movie trying to save a circus.
What?
Which is at risk of being taken over by a mogul named Sam Spangles.
But wait. But you got the Northern Lights out there.
Nope, circus. Ethel Merman sings songs while dressed up as a cowboy shooting birds.
All right.
Santa Claus and his wife get caught in a tornado.
This sounds like the most action-packed movie that's ever been made.
I want to see this now. Santa Claus and his wife get caught up in a tornado and presumably die for a little while. Rudolph does glitter drugs. A band musician has an upside-down pentagram on his hat. And there are some horrible Native American stereotypes that ensure this would never be shown on television in 2018. But how can snow people hang out at the beach in the middle of summer, you ask? Because Thunderbolt gave Frosty, his wife, and their 2 children magical amulets to keep them alive.
What?
But not for long. After spending most of the movie in a panic, fearing he and his loved ones are going to die, Frosty actually does die twice. But we're here to care about literally none of that, because A, Frosty's fine, and B, there's one saving grace in this entire motion picture that I have to share with all of you. And then there's a picture of... This is an original character they made for it named Scratcher. Mm-hmm. Here's what Scratcher looks like.
Oh, wow. He looks like a dog.
He looks like John Leguizamo's character from Ice Age.
Yeah.
But like as a dog.
Tell me, who wrote that article?
Beth Elderkin.
Beth
Who I do
Elderkin.
like.
Beth Elderkin for IO9. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Beth Elderkin, she's got my vote for editor-in-chief of IO9 if she's not already. She does amazing work.
Yeah.
So that character, Scratch's name, is voiced by Alan Suze from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Sure.
Scratcher is an evil reindeer that Santa kicked out of the troop for speaking his mind and maybe stealing something. It's hard to tell. He's silly, he's sarcastic, and he's such a snarky little bitch that he's basically all my Patronus. Thunderbolt finds Scratcher at this sort of seedy hotel for awful Christmas characters, hiring him Boba Fett style to infiltrate the circus and ruin Rudolph's life from the inside.
Oh my god.
He does this, reports back to Thunderbolt, and is never seen again. For all we know, he's still out there hiring himself as the perfect Christmas assassin. I'm not going to tell you anything else about Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Not about how Frosty and his snow family are saved from a fate worse than death, or how it involves Jack Frost arriving Captain Marvel style. Not to mention a giant whale with a clock on its ass.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm just going to encourage you to watch it for yourself. It's on Amazon Prime and it's really cheap to rent. But the memories are priceless. Forget Kurt Russell smacking his Santa-clad buttocks. This year, it's all about Rudolph snorting a bunch of glitter to relive the good old days. Oh, you thought I was kidding about that Rudolph thing? And then she shows like a clip of Rudolph freaking like snorting glitter.
Oh my god.
Happy holidays from Rankin Bass. I need to see that now.
I never even knew that was a thing.
Now you do. And now you know there's like Norse mythology involved. And
The only thing I think the only one I'm really familiar with is the original Rudolph.
you familiar with the Santa Claus is coming to town?
Which one is that?
That's the one that has the Burgermeister Meisterburger in it, who hates toys.
This sounds familiar, but I don't remember it.
Santa Claus. It's the story of a young Santa Claus and how he came to be, and the whole like meat of it in the middle of the movie is he gets to his town and starts like giving presents to all the kids, and the mean old like stereotypical like German mayor of the town called the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Sure.
Is like, we will not
Sure.
have.
Let's really stick it to the Jerry's.
It's like, we will not have Christmas in this town, not now, not ever, and like steals all the children's presents and imprisons Santa, and like the elves have to get him out. And
I like for 100 years, it's like totally fine to shit all over German people. It's
yeah.
totally fine, even though now they're like a superpower.
I know now, like they're like the real leaders of the world again.
Yeah. God, I gotta catch up on all of this.
Yeah, I want. Yeah, it does sound like the Infinity War of Rankin Bass movies. If you were asking for that.
So, you know what I saw yesterday? Mary Poppins Returns.
How was that?
All right, full disclosure, I've not seen the original Mary Poppins, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I always confuse Mary Poppins with Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
See, I always confuse it with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Me too, and then also Sound of Music.
Okay.
Because also one of the kids in Sound of Music, I think, is also a kid in Mary Poppins.
I believe it.
Anyway, it was like, it looked good. It did a good job of replicating that style.
Mm-hmm.
It was not great. I don't know how to describe it.
Look, it's Disney does a good job of putting out a lot of live action movies, like in terms of their live action output, that look technically proficient because they're Disney.
Right.
Like in the Mary Poppins movie, I have not seen it, but I'm sure they try their damnedest to make it look like it fits in the original world.
It does.
But like that's not good enough.
Right. It never I was reading through the blurbs on Rotten Tomatoes, and one critic said it never kind of earns its existence.
Yeah.
Because it's been like so many years. It's a huge gap between an original and its sequel.
Yeah, and like Lin-Manuel Miranda's in it, but also Dick Van Dyke is in it.
Dick Van Dyke's the only good part in it. Because it's like, yay, it's Dick Van Dyke. He fits in this world.
Yeah, like who doesn't like Dick Van Dyke?
You're a monster if you don't like Dick Van Dyke.
He's one of these people that's like still universally loved.
He's on Instagram. You know that?
Is he?
Yeah.
What's he doing on Instagram?
He's posting shit, baby.
What's he posting? I'm gonna look up Dick Van Dyke right now.
You know what really made me re-love Dick Van Dyke?
Diagnosis Murder?
No, like 2 years ago, he came out for Bernie Sanders.
Really?
Yeah, and he was like, Bernie is an old school New Deal Democrat, and I'm for him. And I was like, this fucking guy is great. I love it. He dances in the new
Official Dick Van Dyke.
He does a little dance in the new Mary Poppins, and he still got it at his age.
What is this? He's like all the screenshots of him are like him making ridiculous faces.
Well, he's Dick Van Dyke. He's in great shape.
He looks like he's in great shape. This looks amazing. Where's the Dick Van? I want a Dick Van Dyke documentary.
I know. Where is it?
I want it.
It's probably gonna have no drama. Like he was born. He was great.
Yeah,
Everybody liked him.
That's true. Like,
was he an alcoholic? I bet he was, but he was probably a good one and then stopped. He's great on Scrubs.
He is.
He's great in everything. You can't help but like him.
No, all the Dick Van Dyke, Dick Van Patten.
He's so affable. He was on, when he was endorsing Bernie Sanders, he was on Chris Matthews, that fucking blowhard. And Chris Matthews was, and out of nowhere, Chris Matthews is like, hey, you mind singing for us? Now, this is like a fucking lavalier mic journalism interview. And he's like, what do you want me to sing? And he's like, I don't know, a little bit of fucking Jolly Summertime or whatever bullshit. And he's like, all right. And he just does it. He's like, I'm Dick Van Dyke and I'll sing and dance for you. I don't care.
Yeah, this is saying more about you, Chris Matthews, than it is about me.
Yeah, I'm for fucking democratic socialism. I'm Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, why don't you ask me about that? You want to watch me sing, pop in a DVD and watch me sing all fucking day.
Yeah.
God, I hate Chris Matthews.
That's my impression of Chris Matthews. He's like a baby who's angry at something but doesn't have the words yet to express it. Like, no, you can't have potato chips, Chris Matthews.
No, wait a minute, the potato chips is like, what? Like, honestly, I could just watch like Daryl Hammond do a Chris Matthews impression. I used to love when he would do that. And, like at the end of each sketch, he was like, instead of saying real words, he would just like habba habba. Like he would just like say fake words.
Okay, everybody, that's been the show. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you had a warm, comfortable, merry time with us today. I want to thank everybody who's been on the show. You know Emilio. He's at Emilio Sparks on Twitter. Vin Forte, you could hear him on his podcast, the Anytime Podcast with Vin Forte. I want to thank Nadia for being here. For Pop Culture Man Children, you can subscribe to Pop Culture Man Children on everywhere podcasts are available. That's Stitcher, Apple Music, Google Play, and Spotify. Thanks.
Dog.